Arrowsmith by Sinclair Lewis. 1. The driver of the wagon swaying through forest and swamp of the Ohio wilderness was a ragged girl of 14. Her mother they had buried near the Monongahela. The girl herself had heaped with torn sods the grave beside the river of the beautiful name. Her father lay shrinking with fever on the floor of the wagon box, and about him played her brothers and sisters, dirty brats, tattered brats, hilarious brats. She halted at the fork in the grassy road, and the sick man quavered, "Emmy, ye better turn down toward Cincinnati. If we could find your Uncle Ed, I guess he'd take us in." "Nobody ain't going to take us in," she said. "We're going on just long as we can. Going west. There's a whole lot of new things I aim to be seeing." She cooked the supper, she put the children to bed, and sat by the fire alone. That was the great-grandmother of Martin Arrowsmith. 2. Cross-legged in the examining chair in Doc Vickerson's office, a boy was reading Gray's Anatomy. His name was Martin Arrowsmith, of Elk Mills, in the state of Winnemac. There was a suspicion in Elk Mills, now, in 1897, a dowdy red-brick village smelling of apples, that this brown leather adjustable seat which Doc Vickerson used for minor operations, for the infrequent pulling of teeth, and for highly frequent naps, had begun life as a barber's chair. There was also a belief that its proprietor must once have been called Dr. Vickerson, but for years he had been only the Doc, and he was scurfier and much less adjustable than the chair. Martin was the son of J. Arrowsmith, who conducted the New York clothing bazaar. By sheer brass and obstinacy he had, at 14, become the unofficial, also decidedly unpaid, assistant to the Doc, and while the Doc was on a country call he took charge, though what there was to take charge of no one could ever make out. He was a slender boy, not very tall. His hair and restless eyes were black, his skin unusually white, and the contrast gave him an air of passionate variability. The squareness of his head and a reasonable breadth of shoulders saved him from any appearance of effeminacy, or of that querulous timidity which artistic young gentlemen call sensitiveness. When he lifted his head to listen, his right eyebrow, slightly higher than the left, rose and quivered in his characteristic expression of energy, of independence, and a hint that he could fight, a look of impertinent inquiry which had been known to annoy his teachers and the Sunday school superintendent. Martin was, like most inhabitants of Elk Mills before the Slavo-Italian immigration, a typical purebred Anglo-Saxon American, which means that he was a union of German, French, Scottish.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?